Good day, Techzim followers. Welcome to the latest edition of the Techzim podcast. As usual, we're joined by William Chu.
Thank you.
So Kabweza.
Hey.
We're going to be discussing the latest and trending topics in tech news in Zimbabwe and around the world. Starting, of course, with the ALS Bucket Challenge and what this means for the Zimbabwean community. William, I understand you've been trying to get it going, but you don't have water to play.
Yeah, thanks to Zinwa and the city of Harare. Unfortunately, we only see water once a week. Wouldn't be too difficult though, because
Do you think the city fathers are watching this?
They definitely are. A lot of water is being wasted, but definitely ALS not relevant to our market. We have more pertinent issues that need to be brought attention to. Very few people that I've seen participating just want to take a bath, methinks.
Yeah, people want to, look, I'm really surprised that we are at the point of talking about it. But yeah, that's how.
But that's the whole idea of hashtag activism. You're trying to get a lot of people to talk about something. You're trying to raise awareness about something that is real, even in another part of the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that is in your own backyard.
Everything is as real as it is, and so it has to be relevant.
Let's backtrack a little.
I'd rather we focused on the Shiruk fire because I think there are a lot of angles.
Let's backtrack a little. A few months ago, bring back our girls. Everyone. I saw Wesley Snipes holding up a bring back our girls.
Exactly.
Even though
because terrorism in Nigeria,
affects the guys in Hollywood and the Cannes Film Festival.
It affects us how directly, and I think the kind of the depth or the savagery in just going to school and kidnapping girls
and kidnapping 200 girls level. When ALS has affected millions of people.
And how many in Zimbabwe?
I don't have figures or statistics on how many people have ALS in Zimbabwe.
Plus, okay, forget how deep or how relevant it is. The purpose of the ice bucket thing is so you can make a donation to the ALS organization
and raise awareness. There are two things.
Raise awareness, but you have to link that awareness to an action. What action are you linking that awareness to?
Well, I think the challenge that most people that are following it and are skeptic about it is not necessarily I need to drop water on my head and then donate. You donate if you don't do within 24 hours. So it's not necessarily I'm going to do the challenge and I'm going to donate. You can choose not to donate.
But a couple of local celebrities, if you want to call them that.
Who?
A couple of local individuals were challenged to the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Who locally is that?
Last week we had Zororo posting a video. We actually put it up on our social media feed. Zororo actually went out to challenge Ruvi Pari and
Amara Brown,
Carl
Joshua,
Napster, Carl Joshua,
and those guys also.
I haven't seen videos from them, but interestingly enough, someone actually posted. Someone tweeted a picture of a New Start card. You know, the card you get when you go for HIV testing. Yeah. It says, this should be the Zimbabwean version of the Ice Bucket Challenge, where you challenge people to also do the same.
You show them your card and say,
I've been tested, this is my fight, HIV/AIDS, I'm not giving out as much money as Bill Gates. So can we do the same for Zimbabwe? Maybe that would work.
I think that would be very relevant.
Sure.
But it's an internet craze.
Well, the good thing about it is that some people are being taught how to read. We're getting 50 Cent and Mayweather having a feud there on each other.
But I mean, we're just gonna see how far this wave goes. So let's be serious. Illiteracy is a big problem in the world. Semi-literacy,
but glass houses are stones.
And moving on swiftly to our next topic. EcoCash has now got 4 million subscribers, or 4 million users. That's like just under half of the number of subscribers they have signed up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's leagues ahead of what all these other guys who are in mobile commerce are trying to do.
Yeah.
And the big impact it's had for World Remit Services. What do you think about that?
For World Remit Services, I'm not sure what big impact they have made.
I
mean, the size of impact. Well, what you have to consider that World Remit is already big in Kenya, it's already big in Tanzania, already big in Somalia, in Indonesia, in
Correct.
Thailand. So this is very much fast-growing, global-looking company. So the interesting thing about the 60% that they mentioned was that it was EcoCash is now 60%. Of what?
Of the
Of
money,
their transactions.
Of their transactions.
That they send to
In
Zimbabwe.
what's the absolute value of this transaction? So it can be 60% of, say,
$100 a month.
Yeah, $500 a month. You know, so
How
big
these guys-
a market is Zimbabwe to World Remit? Those stats, we sent them an email. Econet said, well,
To look at it
go to
from-
World Remit didn't respond. So I imagine, like in all cases where a company releases some stats and ignores the stuff that matters, that there's nothing there.
Well, it would be interesting to hear from World Remit when we do the follow-up article, how much this actually means in terms of dollars and cents.
Sure. My excitement with the EcoCash / World Remit integration is, are EcoCash now going to open up to any and all players besides World Remit? If Western Union wants to do the same, will EcoCash open up? If Mukuru wants to do the same, will EcoCash open up? Because that, I think, is what competition and fair trade is all about.
It's something that I don't think is going to happen because.
Well, they said
let's look at their track record.
They did say that.
Let's look at the
EcoCash track record.
EcoCash track record. Are these guys as receptive to as many players or to as many people sharing one plate as they say they are going to be? This deal, please note, also roped in Stewart Bank, because when we first heard of World Remit and all of this, and the whole scope of things, it was Stewart Bank that had actually, engineered all of this or brokered the deal. So to think that Stewart Bank is going to open the door for another party to come in and sit down and get a slice of whatever it is they're getting from all of this, of which we said it's 60% of something we don't know.
I think that would happen. I think Stewart Bank and EcoCash, both, remember, are run by bankers.
Yes.
So EcoCash was run by Cuthbert Mbeza, who was a banker first and then mobile financial services later.
Sure.
And I remember from most of our interactions with him, it was integration is the way to go. Integration with other players is the way to go, because that increases the value of the ecosystem. But Tembeza has left.
In the process of leaving.
Well, sources kind of indicate that he has left.
Sure.
So that's interesting. For me, the 60% and 4 million subscribers, I actually started thinking, is 4 million the actual mobile penetration in terms of the share of Econet? Like, are the other 4 million or 5 million SIM cards out there just either, my iPad
point
SIM card
of sale
or something,
device,
or point of sale device,
tracking, card
tracking,
that would have to
other services.
That would have to be the most overstated figure in Zimbabwean statistics, because you're talking of 4 million users that are not actual consistent users. 4 million is a lot. Ask the guy.
Not consistent users, but active SIM cards that are not a person's primary.
According
SIM
to
card.
Potra's, the last report, Econet has 9 million subscribers.
Yes.
So if we are to assume that only 4 million of them are active subscribers and the other 5 million aren't, that says
Look at my angle. Who uses Econet? Who has an Econet SIM card and doesn't see the utility in EcoCash? At least to register.
That's
Who would not register?
Well, not many people. That we can agree to. Perhaps you're elderly, that may not be rural folk, but are in urban areas. No, elderly, but in urban areas. The needs.
I try to find a person, a typical person that would not have EcoCash, and I can't. I can't imagine anyone who would even
what's
register.
convenient for you might not be convenient for the next person.
Sure.
But it doesn't cost anything to register. You might as well register, and I'm able to send you money
like
low cost.
To cut a long story short, we're just gonna have to wait and see until we get solid figures and statistics on how many people are actually active subscribers for each of the three networks.
My last argument.
Yeah.
9 million subscribers from Econet. 2.5 from the other mobile operator and another 2.5 from the mobile operator. Already we have 106 mobile penetration.
106%.
106% mobile penetration in a country that has 13 million people. So my argument again is, obviously you have kids, you have all the other people in prison, whatever.
So if you have two lines, can't you have both of them being active?
So both of them are active, but it's one individual. I think EcoCash measures the exact individual, and it is an opportunity for us. Mobile money services. I think it's to learn the actual individuals. I
think it's a good yardstick for how close they are to the active subscribers, but it's not the absolute figure of how many people are the actual subscribers.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is all speculative if we don't have hard facts.
Yep.
And this would have to lead us to our next story on mobile commerce as well. Kingdom, or as it was called then, Afrasia Bank has done away with the cell card.
Yeah, threw in the towel.
Press release. I have a cell card. I never got anything.
I have a cell card. Which I
So they just tell us that they're dropping the product. We tried to get a hold of them for the past 3 months. Actually, can you tell us what's happening with the cell card stats and figures? And they were all hush hush. We're going through a rebranding process, and then this happened from nowhere. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think that this is the end of Kingdom in mobile commerce?
For me, I do know that at the launch of Telecash, the bank backing Telecash is Kingdom Bank, Afrasia. That is the bank that is banking. So perhaps they have seen that it's very pointless of them to run a competitive service. Perhaps the deal that they are getting through Telecash is good enough for them not to bother going and talking to other networks.
But look at what Cabs has managed to pull off with Text-to-Cash. I mean, they have a very solid brand in terms of mobile money for a financial institution. Prior to Telecash being in the gold card, Cabs had the biggest penetration through the whole Zim Switch Advantage ETC, which is now going to be eroded, obviously. No, not obviously, but likely. So maybe they felt that they could do the same thing and follow in the same footsteps that Cabs was, walking in, but things didn't work out. Do you think that this is something that they're going to pursue at a later stage, or this is just we're totally bowing out of m-commerce?
It was a zombie project, eh? So I got a cell card, used it once, and I think they actually shut down some of my money. Yes. So I think it was a zombie project.
Typical Zimbabwean.
I think it was a zombie project, and I think they made the right decision to just kill it and focus on the traditional banking stuff that they do. Maybe down the road they can think of another more relevant or product that's likely to succeed, and at that stage they can come back.
Well, interesting. We'd love to hear from people who were using the Kingdom Cell Card. What was your experience with it? Do you think that they should bring it back? Are you comfortable throwing it away in the garbage and moving to all the other options?
Well, at least credit to them that they made an announcement. There is Tetrad/Imali.
There's just so much involved in that whole Imali conundrum, and this is hardly new in terms of Zim tech solutions for e-commerce or whatever. Econet themselves, they had this, wonderful life assurance product that just vanished. I'm calling it wonderful in quotes.
There was Squama.
Yeah, Squama just came and
Squama vanished. I think Squama was the biggest vanishes.
But anyway, like I said, we want to hear what the viewers think about the card, and do they want it back, or they're saying we are comfortable with what we have, Telecash, EcoCash, One Wallet, if anyone is using that. And then we move on to the last topic that we're discussing, the Bulawayo meetup for the ZOL Startup. Last week we had the Harare meetup, the first one where we talked about the new format. We had all the stakeholders popping up and telling people what this ZOL Startup Challenge means in its 4th year. And now we're moving to Bulawayo. A lot is going to be happening there. There's going to be a meetup and a skills session. William, I understand you're taking the drive down to Bulawayo.
Excited about it. I love going to Bulawayo.
Yeah, I love Bulawayo for a lot of reasons.
Well, besides what you assume, the other advantage I do, or at least I look forward to Bulawayo is the enthusiasm that you get from a lot of tech enthusiasts. You look at NAST. I have spoken to a lot of people at these tech meetups locally, and all of them say, hey, I'm at NAST, well, a high number of them. So it's good to know that this event being held at NAST, you know, the center of it all, the heartbeat of it all. This is where it's going to be taking place. Guys are enthusiastic. The Startup Challenge has not gone to Bulawayo previously.
They have
yes, and there's been a change of mind this time, where there is a realization that this needs to be a nationalistic effort. And the Startup Challenge is going to Bulawayo this 4th of September. A week later, would have been another story.
So do you think that this is Bulawayo Rising as our own Silicon Savannah, you know, riding out to the west or down south where all the tech is happening? You've got this institution that's heavy on tech. They've already got, I wouldn't go so far as to call them success stories yet, but they've got, you know, a few notables that side. We've got the guys from Sai. These are the same guys behind Neolab. We've got guys like Godwin with Soccer 24 already in Bulawayo. We've got Gift Ghana and Avo Good. So, you know, there is a lot of activity coming from such a small city that doesn't have as much hype as Harare has, but they're really pushing forward. Not to mention the litany of applications for guys who want to be part of the Startup Challenge from Skies.
I actually think one of the biggest problems with Harare is exactly that. The hype. So there's a lot of noise. So are you calling out Harare developers and startups? Guys, this is our challenge to you. I think it's not that there's a problem with the Harare startups per se, but I think the environment itself supports hype and supports a lot of noise. So there's all this going on around you. There's, you know, the hustling and trying to survive in the capital city that affects your focus. Quick money that affects your focus on your startup. And I think in Bulawayo you have those things kind of not as bad. But I think key amongst it is actually the rentals in Bulawayo. So life is so much more affordable for a startup.
For startups. So we should all pack our bags and move to Mzilikazi.
Maybe we should. But happy to have Bulawayo.
If I was a
part of the challenge,
of which I am, I'd put my money on Bulawayo giving us more than half of the startup applications alone. For the Startup Challenge itself. But anyway, that's something we're going to find out soon. Guys, really have to go. It's been a wonderful 3 minutes. Gotta love you and leave you. Please let us know what you think about the podcast, everything we've discussed here. Give us a shout. Grab us on any other social network. We'd love to hear your views. From William.
Yep.
Sol.
Pleasure.
And me, Nigel. Cheers, guys.